With the
Hey y'all. Okay, so I know we like 2 days late
right.
for our video, but I think I was just getting a little antsy. Neil was getting a little antsy, so we was like, "Fuck it, let's just do a video."
Yep.
So today we're gonna talk about child support. Like, is it worth it? That's a banging ass question. Is it worth it?
Is
Child
it
support?
really worth
Okay.
it though? All right. So my take on it is that it isn't. I feel like the way that they have child support set up is the way that makes it a negative thing. I feel like if you're going to have
Wait, the way who has it set up, like
the legal
court?
system.
Okay.
So if they had it set up to where as though you could put the money into an account, a savings, I think both parents should have a savings for the kids.
Agreed.
That's first. And then second, I feel like you should have more of an itemized kind of required little thing going on versus according to your income you can afford to pay $350 a month or $350 every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. It should be,
You take care of this bill, or
what bill does a child really incur?
daycare, or if if you want to contribute to something, they can say, okay, you take care of daycare for me, and I'll take care of this.
You definitely should. Okay, so depending on how daycare is, if you're paying it bi-weekly, then you should have to pay according to that bi-weekly. That has the first 2 weeks, excuse me. So both parents will end up paying one payment per month if you paying every 2 weeks.
Okay. So and I think this is how this is going to be a great conversation, because so if the dad, so what you were saying earlier about the parent being in a household.
Right. So if the parent is in the household,
Right.
Susie is not going to ask John for $600 for their 3 kids if John is in the household.
Correct.
Once John is gone from the household, now Susie has a dollar amount attached to what it costs to take care of the kid. And I just don't think that's fair.
Okay. Now, what about those who say, okay, but I'm living here. I'm in a 2-bedroom because I have your child. If I didn't have your child, or we didn't create this child together, I'd be in a 1-bedroom. So you have to contribute to this space,
It's the same.
that I'm doing, or you contribute to these groceries that I have to buy, or this cable bill for.
But then that
Nick
makes
Jr.
one parent responsible for 2 households and multiple dependents.
Okay.
Because the person who is the recipient of the child support is not going to be able to pay, or is not going to be required to pay at the person who has to pay house. So that person has to almost make triple income for their living situation, the living situation of the other household, and then the miscellaneous bills for both. That's not fair. Only one person in a child support situation, the person who's forced to pay, only that person is really required to work. The other person doesn't. If you have just enough kids, or that mother or father makes good enough money, then the person who has custody of the kids not going to work.
Okay, so what if you have a situation where, custody hasn't been set up, or, it hasn't been arranged? I know for a fact there are people who co-parent successfully. They take the child by week.
And I guarantee you child support is not an issue in those situations.
It's not an issue. It's
You
not
know
even
why?
a discussion.
Because they know that the children having a relationship with the parent is more important than the money being spent. And that's not to say that if you decide to not be in a relationship, you shouldn't be financially responsible for your kids. You still have that responsibility, but it has to be fair. And when it's all said and done, the way that child support is set up is not fair. It only benefits one person. It don't even benefit the kids. And kids say all the time, I don't never get to see that child support money when it comes. Oh, because I'm paying for the shelter, the food, the lights, and all this other stuff. And it's like, that is it, but you would have been having to pay for this stuff whether you was with this person or not. Just living as your own person, you would have been having to pay these things. So it's like, once you become a baby mother or baby father, then you're expected to not get as good of a job as you would have had before.
Correct. Okay.
I just don't get it.
So it's like, so what do you think is the basis of it? Like, most people, 90% of people who go for child support, do they really need the support, or is this just the bitter spouse or the bitter ex, or, you know, whatever it is, trying to still have control over?
That's what it is. And that's why the people who receive the money can always go back to the court and be like, such and such work overtime now. I need an increase. Kids need this. So why can't you ever just hit the parent up and be like, Lil John needs 2 pair of shoes, and that be it? Because if John was in the house with John and Susie, you would have only been asking for the stuff that the kid need right then. You would not have been asking for that money.
That's true.
And then I think the problem that I really have is, how is a person supposed to sustain? Like, what you're basically saying is that if you don't want to pay child support, then you have to stay in these situations. And the reality of it is that there are a lot of people having spontaneous sex. And from these spontaneous instances, kids are coming out of it. Or they're having relations with people who they're in a relationship with, and the kid could have been conceived out of love, but then the relationship didn't work. And now all of a sudden you telling me that the father has to be on the hook, and the mother gets almost a free ride up until this kid is 18 or 21 or whatever. I don't think that's fair. If something happened to the mother where she lost everything, the father has to be well enough off that he can bring those kids into a stable situation. And the legal system is robbing these people so blind that they can't afford to pay child support and live. So when you have these women that's like, you ain't doing nothing anyway, it's like, well, how can I do something? Everything I'm making is being sent over there.
Correct. I mean, I understand it. So what if so in the instance of where, kind of like myself, I don't seek out child support.
I didn't either.
And I'm not getting monetary
What
assistance.
do you want though?
So overall, I think I want them to have the time, you know, but I also know that I can't want something they can't have. I mean, you know what I mean? I can't force something.
So would it be easier for a court to mandate custody or monetary child support?
In my situation,
just in general,
I think it definitely should be a balance, you know, but at the same time, some people get their kids and really don't get their kids. You know, so setting up the visitation or setting up, you know, for them to go spend that time is not necessarily guaranteed to be beneficial.
Neither of the things that you're seeking is a guarantee. So then what exactly is it that you want?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what I don't want is the headache, which is why I haven't tried shit. Because I'm just like, you know, I don't know. First of all, I don't know what I'm going to get, you know, or if that's even going to be a help. you know, and I'm gonna be taking from my own pocket and money, going to court for this shit to not get shit.
And then if that person is being taken care of by whomever they're living with, they're not going to find any incentive in finding a job anyway to foot the child support bill. So you're not going to get any money. They're going to be mad at you because you took them for child support. Therefore, they're not going to volunteer to get the kids. So I feel like, and I mean, you can make a decision to not have a job.
True.
I feel like the kids
I've seen
should be
people not have a job to not pay the
absolutely.
shit. Like,
absolutely.
Just say no. I'm not. What they gonna get from me if I ain't working?
Exactly. And they still gonna be out here driving. I ain't seen a person homeless yet because they have not paid child support. Period. I've not seen it. I've not seen somebody so bad off that they land under the 3rd Street Tunnel because they refuse to pay child support for their kids. Somebody is taking care of these people, and they ain't necessarily gotta be paying the child support for you.
Right.
But if there's a roof, then there's a place for your kids to go.
Right.
But baby mothers and baby fathers be so mad when the other person is living with somebody else, basically in a relationship. I don't want my kids around that bitch.
Yes. But see, and that's another thing that comes with the intent of the child support. You know, I ain't never been like, oh, don't take my kids around them. Because I'm like, you know, I trust you as a parent. You know, I trust you as a father to not have my kids in a messed up environment. If they come home and say some shit, then that's different.
Yeah.
But, you know, before that, sure, go ahead. Oh, Tamika want to do her hair? Okay. You know, go ahead and get it done. Like, you know, that's assistance. That's helping. You know, it's like, okay, you want to take an inch? I'll let you take inches. You know, I just don't want the headache. You know, I don't want it to be, I'm bitter because I'm asking for help. You know what I mean? I don't want that to automatically be the assumption. However, I don't like rejection, and I don't like being told that this can't happen, especially when I kind of know the shit can't happen. Right. You know, so I don't want to I don't like walking into walls. You know, and I think that's a wall. You know, if you know the person can't give, you know they can't do whatever, and it's a wall for the kids. They be seeing that bitter shit. You know, they see, oh, my mother don't like me over here, or my mother don't want, you know, and that causes tension between.
But then that brings up a whole other thing. Why do we speak so bad about the other parents around the kids or to the kids,
right? And
then want to send the kids around these people?
Yes,
we've already formed the perception
that they
of the other parent, and then so when the kids don't want to be around them, you really doing your own self a disservice, because then you don't have a babysitter. Like you need your time, and the kids should go to their mother or father, you know, at whatever amount of time. And at some point, the parent, you would hope, like the goal is that the parent will then want to spend time with their kids because they're realizing how much they enjoy them. Or then if they see that the child needs something or wants something, then they'll get it. Is you know, essentially them having visitation is them taking care of the kids, but it's all about it really is all about the mentality and the maturity of the two people involved.
Correct.
And 9 times out of 10, when these people walking through the doors of them courtrooms, only one person is mature. The other person is ranting and raving, screaming about some off the wall shit. Like, when I never took my daughter's father for child support. When they gave me the paper, I strictly wanted custody. That was it. Because I felt like her entire being needed to be with me. Right. Now, has it been a complete struggle? Absolutely. This girl is so spoiled. It's not even funny. But at the same time, what do I feel like she can get from her father except for a bad time? And I'm just not up for it. If she wants to see him, she can go.
Do you know that this is the bad time?
Yeah, she's told me.
She's expressed that.
She's told me.
So.
I rely very heavily on my kids being able to express themselves.
That's key. That is key. I'm telling you, I cannot do an uncomfortable child. I think kids who are who don't have the room to express themselves are unhealthy kids.
Very much so.
I think that kind of just sums it up, so kind of back with the child support thing, or the custody thing, if the parent wants to get the child and the child doesn't want to go,
do you make the child go?
Do you make the child go? So I know I had a couple times when they were younger, like 6 and 5, where I had to be like, Daddy miss you. He want to see you too. Like, oh, you ain't seen Daddy in a week. Come on, you can go see Daddy. And the first 3 or 4 times they screamed and cried, and he was even like, well, fuck it, don't drop him then. Like over it, but
why?
I think it kind of got to a point where he started feeling like, dang, why the fuck my kids don't want to come over? Or what is going on that they don't want to be over here? And it definitely wasn't me not encouraging it or supporting it, but I think they weren't at an age to express themselves, where now they can say, I want to go home.
Yeah, I feel uncomfortable
I want
around
to do this
for this reason.
I don't want to go there. And I love the fact that they're able to do that. Now, the parent thinks that they grown in a sense, but sheltered at the same time, and that's fine. But I just love the fact that I don't have to worry. I think an uncomfortable child has secrets, and I think with any child, secrets are unhealthy.
Very unhealthy.
They lead to so many things. If
why does your child not trust you? Yes,
or to tell you, or to know that they can come to you for that help, or come to you for that safety, And like I always say, if anybody tell you to do anything and don't tell your mother, I don't give a fuck if it's a surprise party or whatever. If they tell you don't tell your mother, the shit is wrong.
All the way wrong.
It's nothing that you should be doing that your mother can't know.
Yep.
Or your parent can't know. So, I think to sum it all up, we do have to make it about the child, and because people don't.
You definitely should ask your kids how they feel.
That's true.
I had that conversation with my daughter. I asked her, is this what you want? Do you want to go over your dad's house? And that's not me giving my daughter free reign to make a decision.
Right.
But this is her person. And if she feels like her person is not safe or comfortable in a particular place, I'm not going to necessarily make her be there. Right. Now, sometimes kids have hang-ups about stuff, and it's just like, you know what, you don't really feel that way. You just being spoiled right now or whatever. But as a parent, you have to tap into that. You have to know that your kid is really super uncomfortable. Like, the little one right now thinks my mother is the meanest person in the world. So if she tells me she don't want to go over there, I'm going to decide against it, because I know that my mother is taking care of her, and I know that the reason that she doesn't like my mother, or she thinks my mom is mean, is because she can't get away with everything.
Right.
But now, if this was a whole other instance, then I would be like, I don't force my kids to speak to anybody. Like, we out and about, hey, little cute, nope, don't. Oh, your baby don't speak? Yeah, she talk. She definitely do. Please don't get her started. But no, if she doesn't feel comfortable speaking to you, then she shouldn't. And I try to let her know that if somebody, family or not, tells you, if you do this, I'll give you this, no.
Right.
If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And it comes off wrong, because it's like then your kid don't have respect or whatever. But that's not what it is. And even in your situation, if the kids don't want to go around their father or spend time with him on a particular day or whatever the case may be, they, in a sense, are really trying to protect their sanity.
Right.
They've seen you struggle. They've seen me struggle. And it's just like, you're not going to make me feel like what I've witnessed.
Right.
So
or you're not going to put me in a position,
yeah,
to do that. And it's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine for them to feel like they have to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's their defense, and that's okay. It's just that I guess people have to get over that. Things change, people change, feelings change. I do feel that a lot of the times child support is the intent behind it is not genuine.
Most times it isn't.
But then you have those cases where somebody was married and struggle with them, some waiting to exhale shit. Angela Bassett. Now in that case, I'm like, yes, get your
Yeah, absolutely. Because,
do what you're supposed to do because the labor, the work was there.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Behind that, it wasn't just okay. Fuck you because you left me. It was fuck you. You're not about to carry me.
Right.
Or my kids. So I definitely think that.
But then it ends up getting into that thing where it's like, for those who aren't married, well, you should not have laid down and had kids and all this other stuff if you didn't want to take care of them. That isn't always the case.
Right.
And it sounds stupid to even try to defend these situations, but we have so many baby mothers and baby fathers because we, are attaching ourselves to the honeymoon period and all these things are happening within the honeymoon period. And it's unfair that we're leeching onto it like that, and then as soon as something goes wrong, it's like a shock, and oh my God, I can't believe I had a baby by you.
Right.
Well, what was you feeling the whole first 6 months that we was together?
Right. And
you
that's
didn't get none of this.
And that's where people just gotta grow, because I feel that way too. Like, I feel like, I used to always say my kid's dad is a great dad, but not a good baby dad, baby daddy. It's a difference, but I think that we just gotta get to the point where you just let the shit go. Like you really have to let the shit go.
First of all, you have to call stuff exactly what it is.
And most of the time, you knew the fucking signs before you got pregnant. You saw the little iffy bullshit that he was doing before you got pregnant, and then you ended up wondering, sure, he with his kids, he got kids, and they fresh, they take pictures, but you ain't know that was just to take the picture day.
Exactly.
That was the fun.
Everybody got on white t-shirts and blue jeans and fresh tennis shoes.
Yes, that was the ride for that.
Looking real Stepford wives.
So it's like, you do have to be conscious of your actions. So I was saying that to say, I don't never be like, when people be like, you shouldn't have had kids, you shouldn't have dealt with them. I think that that's fucked up, because I feel like if I didn't deal with them, I wouldn't have my kids, so I wouldn't be fulfilling my purpose, essentially.
Basically.
By having a kid.
And it's to show your resilience.
Yeah.
And everybody's not resilient. A lot of people
true.
have kids in these relationships because they believe that there is some happiness to be found. And you can't do it like that. If you have not found enough in this person to make you happy and keep you happy, then it's not going to happen for the kids either.
Yes.
Like, the kid not going to make the situation any better. And even if the child has a relationship with the mother or father that's better than yours, it's still like, why do you want to keep having kids in such an unstable situation?
Right.
I mean, you had one, nothing changed.
Right.
You didn't get the commitment you wanted. You had two, nothing changed. You didn't get the commitment you wanted. And now the father's not a great father, or the mother's a slum mother.
Right.
And now they're so bad, but you're not, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. People just be needing to carry their weight sometimes.
They do. And then I feel, is it me? But I feel like sex is not really that awesome.
Oh, yes.
To be doing this shit, to keep having kids.
Nope.
Or to keep going through the drama with another human being.
Arguing for 3 hours for 15, maybe
20 years.
No, minutes. Minutes.
Every day for 20 years, or, to be dealing or going with the back and forth.
It's just like, why? when you really start to factor in all the reasons that you stayed or tried to make something work or tried to accommodate another person, then it's like, damn, I should be getting time and a half for this. Because
exactly.
I was working, like working.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. And I think another thing we need to do is to be honest about us not being prepared to even have kids. But we have to be mature enough to recognize that this is something that we have to do. I don't know what it is about having children that makes it that much more of a strain than any other thing that happens in life that you weren't expecting. Like, you were not expecting for your phone to be cut off. Right. But you didn't go out here snapping on everybody trying to take AT&T to child support court because you didn't get time with your family because your phone was cut off. Like, I just don't understand the logic behind a lot of these things. Like I said, it's really about your resilience, and that's what trials are for. They're supposed to show how resilient you are. And I mean, people are failing, and then you really have to be like, do I even want my child around this person? I mean, when do we learn to just suck it up and move on? You're going to spend your whole entire life or the child's whole entire childhood trying to make things right when you could have been making things comfortable.
And then you have to also understand that everything your way may not be right. You know, just because you feel like the other parent needs to do this, that, and the third, that may not be what they can provide for that child. You know, I had a parent where my mom was a provider, and she went to work every day and all that type stuff, but emotionally she wasn't there. Whereas my father, you know, I could talk to him about whatever. You know, if I felt sad, I knew I could talk to him for comfort. You know, if I didn't understand anything, I knew that I can go to him and he would listen. You know,
but so that's the thing. It would have been that if they were both in the house with you, it would have been that same thing. So how do you really try and make something that much more exponential because you aren't in the house with the person?
Exactly.
They're giving the same support that they would have been given had they been in the house.
Exactly.
If the parent is gone all the time now and y'all not in the house, then believe me, that parent, had y'all been under the same roof, would have been gone every weekend doing whatever. Like, that's what they would have been doing. Because your responsibility don't change. You just under a different roof.
Yes.
So
ultimately, child support, really think about that shit before you do it. I mean, you know, again, is it really worth it?
Like I said, you should definitely itemize it. If you know, like, make an agreement with the other parent, the one who makes, I guess, the most money or whatever. If the child needs this, then call and ask me for that particular thing. It really should just be that simple.
And also, I think these are discussions that can be had when you're pregnant. I think that's another reason that shit goes awry. You know, because you think that everything peachy king, or you just smooth or deal with shit before instead of addressing them. Whereas he was fucking up when you was 3 months, when you told him you was pregnant, it was this, that, and the third. You know, so now that the baby 2 and you still having the same argument from 2 years before, then you the retard. I'm sorry. You know, it's not the guy, because he doing all the shit he been doing.
All the things.
Yes, but then now all of a sudden you like, he want to switch up. No, boo, he ain't switch up. You just tired of the shit. And now that you tired of dealing with the shit, not even being forced into nothing, but now that you tired of dealing with the shit, you like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna ruin his life. No, because you're ruining his life, your life, the kid life. You know, all those things come into play when you think about this child support shit.
And then you're not even that much of a support system to help your child cope through all of the trauma that you're putting the child through.
Yes.
You can't even talk the kid through it, because if they like, man, why my mother on drugs? Man, I don't know why that bitch on drugs. Man, right. And then after that, you're not helping the kid deal with it. You making them just as angry as you are about it, instead of being like, listen, this is what's happening. This is probably why your mom is going through this. And in order for you to help her, you can do this or we can do that or whatever. You know, and just kind of build an emotional foundation.
Balance with the child too, because sometimes the child is angry or the child may, you know, want to see the parent more than what they're able to or want to do more. And, you know, you just got to be encouraging to that child too. Like, you know, life is life.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, deal with it or deal with it. I say that all the time. You deal with it, like, accept the shit, or you deal with it. You cut it out. You know what I mean? And the only way to really decide on what you're going to be able to do is to address your feelings. You know what I mean? You have to have that conversation with your child. If you can't have it with the other parent,
right?
You know, at least have it with the child so you'll know the direction you need to go in for that child. You know, if my child is bitter, angry, or whatever, then I may be a little more encouraging for them to work through whatever, or, you know, address the issue
instead of being like, you made my kid mad.
Yes, you know what I mean? He mad at you, I'm mad at you.
Exactly.
Forget you and the girlfriend or whatever, and all that shit. Let me just tell y'all, all that shit still shows that the problem is you, retard. You know, you still the retard because you still bitter. You know what I'm saying? You still worry about the wrong shit. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's all it is. You worry about the wrong shit, you know. And bottom line, child support is mainly people worry about the wrong shit.
Pretty much.
And that sums it up.
All right, and so now what we're going to do is...
Are we doing this motherfucker? Did we pick one?
I didn't pick one. Okay. I don't think you suggested one. My this motherfucker.
Okay, that's a segment, by the way. This is something that we're going to do.
Feel free to nominate people.
Yes.
Hit us in the inbox, email, whatever. banterboxbc@gmail.com or
Instagram, banterbox with Brandy or banterbox with Champ.
Nope, I'm not on there. I'm still at I Just Can't. I haven't changed the name yet. Because I just can't. I just can't. You're not going to force me into something that I don't want to be a part of right now. I'm still, I just can't.
Okay.
So EYEJUSSKANT. Those are the places where you can hit us up or whatever. But
I just started Twitter. I haven't had that.
I told you I did. Just log into it.
Okay.
See how we gotta talk stuff out?
Communication.
She don't listen, and when she go back through her Google Hangout, she gonna be like, "Oh,
you did."
Real sad.
Okay,
man.
So we gonna.
That's why she my baby mother. I swear.
Because this child support shit,
we
have an understanding.
Like, for real.
She brings a certain amount to the table. I bring a certain amount to the table, and even though it may not sink right into place right then and there, the shit means.
It does. It definitely does.
Some way.
Somehow.
So this motherfucker is
mine is Wendy Williams this week.
She can be that this week.
That's it for me. She is so blind right now, and I'm not going to do all of her husband is allegedly cheating, allegedly got the girl pregnant, allegedly has a baby on the way, all this other stuff. I'm not going to do that. The problem that I have with this whole entire thing, and I spoke on it real quick in the first video, and that is accountability. Wendy Williams has to be accountable for the image that she's putting out about this marriage, about the whole entire situation. And what she's doing is deny. And now they're alleging that she has filed for separation or divorce. I mean, it's just like, why put yourself in a situation where you have to go into spin control to correct everything when you could have just been transparent and garnered more viewership, more supporters, more followers, more people who actually believe you and say, you know what, guys, this is what I'm going through right now. I don't know how to get through it. It ain't you telling your business, but it's you showing a very human side of you. And she has not done that. If she emits as much emotion into her own stuff as she do into exposing everybody else, then I'd be like, all right, boom, I tune in for your hot topics. But I'm like, Slim, you can't even work this out for yourself. I understand you want to keep your husband. I get it. But let's be real. Your son is on his way to college. Y'all, like, come on, young. It's kaput.
No
Leave it alone.
Yes.
just be done.
So I think this motherfucker is probably gonna be like the black community. Y'all make me sick.
So sick.
Like, I mean, I cannot stand it. I think we are the most hypocritical people on the planet. I think we always, and I'm saying we because I participated in this shit. You know, it took me to really kind of sit back and observe and say, okay, what I have to work on within myself. But prime example is this Nipsey shit. So Nail showed me the video about, you know, with the dude like walking up, like this nigga was in his hood where he's been, like not go away then come back. This nigga been there. You know, he never left. Everything that he wanted to do before he even had the top hit song, you see videos of him talking about what he got to do in the community. I saw this nigga said, I'm not buying chains and cars. I'm buying buildings. You know, like this is what he wants to do. This has been his goal. So it wasn't like he switched up. He grew up, you know, but he kind of always knew his goal. And for not only from somebody from his community, but I don't know, it looked like he knew the nigga or, you know, something. Or even the people around you. You ain't see this nigga walking up or, you know, was he that cool or that familiar that nobody said nothing to say nothing? Then when he did the shit, I mean, I don't know. I'm from DC, right? So if a motherfucker walk up on a car and shoot a nigga and there's maybe 2 or 3 of his men right there with him, somebody's shooting back. Somebody's screaming something, chasing this nigga, something. This nigga left, came back, left, came back, left, came back. Like nobody did shit. And I keep seeing the post, George Zimmerman still alive. This nigga still walking, talking shit.
Still catching charges.
Like for real. And nobody has done anything to him, but you let your community kill each other.
And you definitely refuse to acknowledge that Black Lives Matter.
Do they?
It literally starts in the community. Like there is no Black Lives Matter as long as there's still as much black on black crime as it is. And I'm telling you, debate me, at me, whatever it is you want to do. But you cannot justify to me why our communities are set up the way that they are. And it is still being lived that way because people are allowing it. There are a bunch of social media gangsters and social media activists, and all they do is just sit online all day and Monday morning quarterback every single situation. I do not want to be that person.
Definitely.
I don't. I've literally done this in my life. I've seen a dude in the street beating on a girl, and I got out. Now, granted, this wasn't safe. It wasn't smart. But it's my impulsiveness that does that. It's my empathy and my sympathy for what's going on in my community that made me get out of my car and go and approach this person.
It's your creature in you. First of all, you know, I'm going to get spiritual right quick, and then I'm going to go back. You know, we have 2 entities to us. You know, you have the creature, the physical, the one who is tempted. You know, the one who Satan is able to do the purpose for him to try to do what he's doing. And then you have your spiritual, the breath of life you got from God. So, you know, that's what you should be more focused with. Now, we survive by nature. You can't sit and watch a grown man beat on a woman and feel okay. Even if you sit and watch it and don't jump out, you don't feel okay with the shit. You know, your body cannot sit and watch something like that. You cannot sit and watch somebody be brutally killed and murdered and don't have nothing to say about the shit.
I hated that. I looked at that video.
Nothing to do. You know, so with that being said, I hate y'all niggas. And that's white people, Spanish people, big people don't really
exclusive.
Like.
I mean, niggas is not exclusive to black people.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
That's the next topic.
A white person should not be out here calling nobody nigger. But if I'm going to call you a nigga, I don't care. You could be goddamn... you could be from Australia. You could be
I'm
Asian.
not-
Like, I don't care.
Yes, but I'm
There
not
is
gonna call
nigga
nobody
shit.
a nigga. Right, I'm not gonna call nobody a nigga, a white person a nigga, and then be mad at them for calling me a nigga.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Nigga and bitch are
But-
two words that don't affect me the way that they affect other people.
That's definitely
So-
the next discussion, because I had a
But don't do it.
Right. Right. Don't try.
just don't do it. Don't try to check my temperature.
Yes. At the end of the day, the black community.
Y'all
Or
gotta do better.
I don't know if I want to. I mean, it's the black community. I don't know if I want to say the urban community, because this includes, my Mexicans, my Hispanics who live that kind of that same
All
lifestyle.
on the middle class
you know what I'm
line.
saying? And below.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all make me sick. Like, can't stand you.
You only care about yourself.
Wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole, like my grandmother used to say. Like, I just really, it's sickening. Y'all depress me. Y'all are why I'm scared. I'm not even scared of Donald Trump. I'm not
'Cause he
even
honest.
I'm not scared about what he gonna do.
'Cause
I'm
he's
worried about
honest.
you motherfuckers. I'm worried about y'all. The fact that you won't vote, you don't care. All you wanna do is show your ass and your gun. I can't live off that. I can't trust that. I can't feel safe with that.
At
my
all.
kids, my friends, my siblings, nieces, nephews, I'm scared for them because of you motherfuckers.
Yep.
And that's it for this motherfucker.
Yes, that's it. That was a long one. It wasn't
It's
supposed to be.
right.
But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. It will be uploaded to YouTube very, very shortly. We are at on YouTube at Banter Box with Champ and Brandy.
Or Brandy and Champ, one of them.
We'll get back to you. The link will be posted though. Again, thank y'all for bearing with us.
We can do IG videos too. Well, you can teach me how to do that.
Yeah, we'll be posting. We'll be doing IG live and posting videos on IG as well. I'm not sure how. I think on IGTV you can do like 20-minute and up videos. We'll see. But anyway, until next time, again, this is expected to be a weekly upload. So, any submissions that you guys have, we gladly welcome them at all of the outlets that we've expressed to you before. It would also be in our bios, on our pages, whatever. So just hit us up.
Anything you want to talk about. And then also don't forget about Neil's rant and Brandy's view.
Yep.
You guys can submit letters, and I fuck around and give you a nice subtle view, and she might give you a rant about the shit.
Even though she's been cursing way more than me.
I did good this time.
In real life, I have like the F mouth, but I don't know what's going on with her. Y'all gonna have to excuse me.
No, she got more than me this time. I think she told me last time I had more, but I think I did really good.
Y'all count and let us know.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.